What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Overcast Live. Now, we're changing things up. We're changing things up a little bit here. I feel like we just had too many things going on at once. I just kind of want to set the record straight. We had too many things going at once. It was like the Drone District was our channel name. Then we had the Overcast podcast and then Up in the Air Live. So we're going to make everything just Overcast. It's going to be Overcast Live, which you guys are watching here. And then it's also going to be the Overcast podcast, which is going to be on Sundays. We're also starting an hour later than usual, but that was just on my end here. But as you guys can see from what we've got in the title, we're going to be talking about DJI versus Autel. We're going to be talking about drone airport sightings because those always seem to be in the news. And also we're going to talk about UPS's airline. So Ken, I know you just made a video on DJI versus Autel.
Yeah, I did actually. I did. So the District Court of Delaware, I know how much you love Delaware, recently dismissed. I know we joke about Delaware a lot, but they recently dismissed a case, one of the cases that Autel had brought against DJI, basically an antitrust case. I didn't even know this was a thing when I researched this about a year ago. It's been exactly 10 months, actually. I didn't even know it was a thing, but apparently one of the claims Autel was making was that DJI was price fixing and selling their drones below their cost, which is really hard to believe considering how much they cost. And yeah, so that I was actually pretty shocked about that.
So like they should be selling it for a higher number?
So yeah, and they didn't definitively put a number on the sheet of paper, and ultimately that's what cost them this case, was that they didn't list a price, but they said that they were using sort of predatory practices in order to force competitors out of the market.
I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I mean, you know, the last time I checked, any business is in business to be in business, which, you know, your goal is to be the best you can be in your, you know, projected market space. So I don't know. I thought it was sort of silly to even bring that up. I mean, if you want to go after him about quick props or, you know, other supposed patents, you know, that makes a little more sense. But an antitrust case against the company that basically sort of pioneered their way for consumer drones.
What DVF1 says here, I love my Autel Evo, but Autel's a joke selling one product. I agree, right? Like they've only got one thing to ride on.
I have to agree with them because that singular product right now is not enough to sustain a successful business platform. You gotta have quality. You gotta have like choice. People love choice.
Exactly.
They love, you know, and if you only say, hey, we only have this particular product, you're only going to have that one choice. Like I can see if you had two Autel Evos, like if you had like something like the Mavic 2, where it's a Mavic 2 Zoom, a Mavic 2 Pro, again, you have choice. It's the same product, but you have choice.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if they were, so what, they can't sell the X-Star anymore, right? Because of the patents. They're not allowed to sell them anymore.
No. So that actually was thrown out as well. So yeah, that's not even part of anything.
Okay.
What's funny is DJI didn't even pursue that any further. They actually threw it out. There wasn't enough evidence there. It's really hard. From what I understand and doing research this week, it's really hard to try to sue somebody on patents, unless if you blatantly steal. I mean, blatantly.
Yeah.
And those patents are valid for, you know, however many years. I mean, it's hard. It's such a mess. So
Blue Eye Visual says that the Evo seems like a better deal than the Mavic Pro for the same price. I mean, we're talking about 2-year-old tech in the Mavic Pro, you know? I mean, you're comparing something that's 2 years old to, I guess, what the Evo is probably like about a year old now.
Well, let's clarify, Steve. Are you talking about the Mavic Pro or are you talking about the Mavic 2 Pro? Because sometimes people are like, they're just like, Mavic 2, Mavic, you know, they forget the 2. Where's the 1-inch sensor? Honestly, I have no idea where the 1-inch sensor is. I don't know if we'll see a 1-inch sensor. I don't think that's what they're aiming for.
With the Evo?
You know, just speculating based upon everything we've seen.
You look at what DJI has, and they have not only multiple products, but something that suits almost everybody's needs, which totally makes sense. And if you look at somebody like Unique, they've even got multiple products to suit multiple people's needs. Now, Unique's been in the game a little bit longer than Autel,
right?
And you know, they have a little bit more, I guess, credibility under their boots. But like, only to sell one product, I totally agree with what DVF said. He says the first Pro, which again, I mean, it makes sense because the Autel Evo,
it's a value.
Yeah, the Autel Evo came out afterwards and was slotted to compete with the older drone, which was the Mavic Pro. But if you think about it, the Mavic Pro staying at that $999 price point is pretty insane. I mean, it's been out for how long now, and it hasn't seen a price drop. Sometimes you see like little price drops here and there around holidays.
Right. And I guess, you know, I mean, we sort of compared it to the Mavic 2 or the Mavic Pro when it first came out, because I remember that was in June of last year. You had came down, we did a whole series. We filmed a bunch of videos for a weekend. And that was our baseline, was the Mavic Pro. So that ship sailed, you know, now, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. They're going to drag this out in court, and ultimately, you know, they're paying lawyers, they're paying all these different fees. They should just be worried about innovation. I said this in the comments, I should have like coined this. I rather see innovation over litigation any day. I'd rather see innovation.
Yeah.
Put your money into developing a product that can knock DJI, you know, like out on their ass. Also, I'm having a problem. Apparently, I dropped the ing off of things.
You do.
So
I've noticed it.
You know, and I guess that's just, I was watching Google today, and you know how like they have like pronunciation things. I was playing the thing. It was like settings.
Yeah,
like,
you dropped the G.
I don't know.
You dropped the
I just dropped the G. So like I keep seeing that comment. So I don't know. I may do a whole series on speech. I don't know.
You know, and I see Brian's in here saying that the Evo is a lot better than most think. I agree, man. I think the Evo.
Yeah, I know
dude,
it is.
The Evo was a beast when I was flying it around with you.
Oh man, I want to talk about it, but it's too soon. But I mean, did you get your box today? We both got X Dynamics, right?
So you're calling it the Dynamic. That's the name of the company. So this is something that I really wanted to cover when I was at. What's that? I think you lagged a little bit there.
Did I you know, I don't want to, like, I didn't want to call it the Evolve because it's too close to Evo.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You know, it's like pretty close, so I just say X Dynamics.
Here's my thing. I wanted to cover this at CES, and I totally forgot about it. One of my things from CES was just that there was nothing there because it was kind of a lackluster thing. Yeah. But in the mail today, we both got an X Dynamic Evolve, and we've got them for about a month to fly around and try out. So.
Is that what they said? Is that how long they said we have them for?
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's perfect. How many batteries did it come with?
So the battery, the drone actually comes with 2 batteries.
Okay, really? So out of the box, or was there like another box in there?
No, there was no. It was just it was in the box. It was like bundled in this big backpack. Sweet. Ninja turtle shell. Yeah. So
I haven't taken mine out of the box yet. In fact, I got it delivered over to my mom's house. I'm at my apartment at school right now. But I'm really excited to check it out. It looks beast.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to try it out. I'm not going to be able to do any flying with it or do anything with it until I get back from Vegas. Really, ooh. I just sort of took it up in the air today briefly. Just sort of went through the whole setup, and it. You know what it reminds me of? Alienware.
Yeah.
Like Dell Alienware. Like I don't know. Like the whole interface reminds me of an Alienware PC. Very like, I don't know, Tron. Very Tron. That's what it reminds me.
I know, but it looks really cool.
It does look cool. It does look cool. I'll have to try it out more, go through the whole. I found like a whole slew of hidden menus and everything, so it'll be interesting. I'm just gonna sort of get my baseline feeler. I'm gonna take my time with it though. I want to make sure I do it justice.
Yeah, I'm really excited because it's just, for me, I feel like it's just been DJI after DJI after DJI, and while I don't have a problem with that, you know, it's nice to throw something else in the mix.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sort of not. I'm not saying I'm DJI'd out, but I'm pretty, you know, bored
it's just
with
been
it.
Mavic
like,
after Mavic, but
I mean, you hit like sort of a plateau when you're making what's in my bag videos. 2019. That's messed up. Oh man, I'm sorry. I was waiting for it. That's my bad. My bad. None but love. Oh, you shave my head next week. I'll wake up with like this big bald spot or no eyebrows or something.
Do you watch Dude Perfect?
I used to watch Dude Perfect. Man.
They do this thing called Overtime, and it's like a show that they do. It's like 25 minutes long on their YouTube channel, and at the end of the episode, they have what's called the Wheel of Misfortune, and whoever gets their name picked, they have to go and they spin the wheel and whatever it lands on, they have to do.
Yeah, you told me that. I thought that was pretty cool,
Dude,
dude.
some of the things that they make them do are bad. Like one of them was like sit in a basket full of snakes. They had one of the guys fly to Wisconsin, step out of the airport, turn around, and fly back. There was one on the spinning wheel that said go to an amusement park for the whole day and don't ride any rides. And one of their recent ones was shave off your eyebrows. So they totally shaved off one of his eyebrows, or both of his eyebrows. He looked like an idiot. Okay, so
okay. So Blue Eye asked, is it made out of fake carbon fiber or real carbon fiber? No, it's 100% real carbon fiber.
It's gotta be light.
And
again, I haven't even picked it up yet.
No, it's and that's what's surprising. It is
really?
Not light. But we'll cover more on that later. I don't want to like really do too much on that, but no, it is actually not light. I was actually pretty shocked, to be honest with you.
Okay, so something I want to throw out there for anybody that's in here watching right now, right? So Overcast Live is kind of like to cover some of the things going on more recently. With the podcast, we sit down and we film them in bulk, and they're kind of more like informative videos, almost an informative podcast, because we sit down and we talk about a topic. But the live thing is just to kind of, you know, put more content out on this channel, and also to go over things that are happening in real time, because with these pre-recorded podcasts, we don't have time to necessarily sit down and shoot one every single week.
Right. And the thing about the podcast too is that it's going to be a little bit more evergreen content, so you can always go back to it and refer to it for information. It's things that are going to hopefully stick around for a couple of months. I think the things that we're talking about here on the live show are going to be things that are like happening like right in the moment. Like I can think of the biggest deal is the Gatwick incident. Like I think about that live stream we did.
The podcast.
We're talking about the podcast we did, and then like the next day the information changed and we had a film,
I know,
and then it was scheduled to go upload, you know, on Sunday. So that sort of sucked. I just want to see what's going on. Man, Brian's active as heck on the chat tonight.
Forgot his name, but someone from Ken's Heron show lost a Mavic 2 with State Farm. They insured his new one, no problem. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. You know, I feel like
it's hit or miss, man, with that.
I know. I feel like I did a video a while ago, and I feel like I started this whole State Farm trend. I'm not trying to take any credit, but
it sounds like another humble brag.
I'm just saying, man. I was looking at videos online, and this is when I was first getting started, and I'm like, what is one topic that not many people talk about? And it was insurance. I mean, and that's something you really have to think about with a drone. Not only liability insurance, but insuring your actual drone. So I think that State Farm is a great way to go. And you know, again, I've heard of people saying that it affects their other insurance. I don't know about that. I've also heard people say that once you have one go down, they cut you. So, I mean, look, it's always good to have on your drone.
I'm not going to lie. I had State Farm insurance before, and I had to take a loss on one, and they didn't cut me. I just never signed up with another policy. I haven't tried, but flying commercially now, from my understanding, you can't use that insurance commercially. Like you have to have like a legit, you know, business insurance. So that's what I'm going to probably lean towards eventually is insuring everything, like all of my assets that are under my insurance, because Skywatch is great and all, but like I can't insure my computer, I can't insure like all the pieces, like my camera gear. Like I want full insurance, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I just got business insurance, which covers a lot of stuff other than just drones. I mean, cameras and all that stuff, and I pay, God, what, like $70 a month. It's really not that bad.
But honestly, that's worth it, because you never know what could happen. Let me see. Ethan's asking, do you know what's going on with the FAA 107 license? Taking a really long time. I will tell you, when did we get our license? We took our test in October. I didn't see a license till what, mid-December, I think.
Yeah.
Almost before Christmas, I saw my actual official license.
Yeah, and the thing also is the government shutdown could have affected it. Maybe they're backed up. Yeah. Maybe they're backed up. I don't know.
The FAA just takes a long time to process claim, or they just take a long time to process licenses or even requests. Like waivers take a long time sometimes.
And you would think that, all right, well, so first of all, the FAA is a very archaic organization, but you would think that they'd be able to stay on top of things like just simply printing out a license. Doesn't make sense to me.
No, I would agree, but it seems like it does take them quite a long time to react to anything. I can't wait till they can simplify it, or at least like bring services into the 21st century, at least, or at least the modern era. Let's go through here.
So look, hold on. Now speaking of the FAA, right? Something that I see, and it kind of stems back to Gatwick, right? Something that I see all the time in the news is that there's been a drone sighting at these airports. And it's becoming really frequent. I remember when an example, right? You go on Drone DJ and they have a ton of articles about drone sightings at certain airports. And I remember when I was writing blogs for them that it was almost every day that I was writing that a drone was spotted at some sort of airport, right? So let's see, this article, for example, dang, where did it go? I just had an article up. But basically, there was a recent drone sighting. Ooh, hold on. I'm gonna try to my mouse is almost dead. Let me see.
I had to charge
Here
mine.
it is.
You're talking. Are you talking about which one? Are you talking about this?
Flights. No. That's another one. I'm talking. This one is from Drone DJ. It says flights briefly suspended at Frankfurt Airport after drone sighting.
Where?
So Frankfurt Airport.
I don't know why you're coming in and out. You're like really going in and out. I can barely hear your audio.
Oh shoot.
Say that again.
My AirPods just died.
I completely lost your audio.
Are you there?
I got no audio. Has anybody else got Billy's audio?
My my AirPods died, so probably everybody else can hear me. Just Ken can't hear me.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense, dude. That's why you should be like not using. You gotta get that wired, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's weird though, because I had them charging. I'm just gonna try to reconnect real quick.
That's weird. Yeah, I can hear you now. Sky Stories said I'm busy with the new Max line. Yeah, but I that handle different things. Like you know what I mean? Like drones are not going to be handled by the same
All right,
people
I'm back
handling,
here. I think. Can you hear me?
The airliners situations. That's a whole nother situation. Resources, I'm sure. Yeah, I can hear you again.
You should be able to hear me.
You have like a non-wired. Anyway,
you should be able to hear me.
Brian, I can't really hear him.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. I think he's messing with me. You can definitely hear me.
I can't hear anything right now.
You can definitely hear me. Ay, ay, ay. Yo, Ken, can you hear me?
100%.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
You should be able to hear me.
Is it my headset?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you on there, yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good stuff. Okay.
You're really going in and out, though.
Am I?
Yeah, I have no idea. You probably definitely need to make sure like you have either those charged or like a wired headset.
No,
probably.
I just cut out because my battery on these are like 70%. Everybody in the chat, let me know. Yo, Ken, can you hear me? Everybody in the chat, let me know if you can hear us. Both of us, let me know if you can see us. You should be able to. I think
you're coming in clearer now, at least.
Okay, yeah, I switched things over so you can hear me from my main mic sitting here rather than coming through the AirPods. So, all right, anyway, right, we're talking about drone airport sightings. And this article I'm looking at right here, flights briefly suspended at Frankfurt Airport after a drone sighting. And I feel like unless we get this remote ID thing put into place, we're going to continue to see all of these all of these drone sightings at these airports because there's no way to clarify if it was a drone or not, because it can be a drone, it can be a bird, it can be something, but at the end of the day, until they're going to be able to say, yep, that's a drone, it's not like I'm going to buy anything.
So here's my thing with this. Like we haven't really seen any like physical evidence that there was a drone nearby.
Not once.
Okay.
Like never. Any of these drone sightings, there's never been a time where they've been like, "Yup, that is a drone. Here's a photo of the drone."
What are they considering close by? Like, what is their radius in which that they're saying, like, you know, where is the site in? Like, I want to know like the radius to the airport, because when you look at an airport, are they on the tarmac? Are they, you know, near the terminals?
And who is spotting them? Like, how are they spotting them, right? And I get
it's really hard to spot a drone.
Yeah, I get pretty fed up about this. It just says that it was the drone interrupted air traffic after it was spotted in the area. So I don't know where exactly it was, whether it's on the tarmac, whether it's somewhere nearby. Again, this type of stuff just really doesn't make sense. Lon says they were probably Autels.
Yeah, it's just well, you wouldn't be able to tell if it was an Autel.
Yeah, Ethan makes a good.
They don't report.
Ethan makes a good point that people overseas, at least not in the United States, it seems to be happening more over there. The one recently that happened here was Newark, but again, everything that was given to the pilots, or everything that the pilot said. First of all, the pilot saw the drone at 3,000 feet in the air. Both of those things just don't make any sense.
Right.
So I'm fed up about the drone airport sightings, because this is just something that's going to totally kill us. If they can't find a way to regulate this, and if they can't find a way to blatantly say that yes, it's a drone, and if drones are going to be the first thing they jump to when things are stopped at an airport, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, so obviously that remote ID is going to be a big thing, and I think it's going to be mandatory that they have to have that if you were going to sell a commercial, or not even a commercial drone, a consumer drone in the US, you have to have it. And this could be why we're not seeing so many drones released now, because they are probably trying to prep them for, you know, future-proof sales. Well, because the government could say, hey, you can't fly unless you have this remote ID.
That's true, and maybe when it goes into effect, they can say any drones manufactured after this date, but that would kind of suck, because DJI probably makes a ton of money off of their drones they've had since 2 years ago, right? Like the Spark and the Mavic Air, and then what, do they have to go back in and make changes to their design? That could be something that you have to think about, but if you go into some of DJI's newest drones, it has a little spot for remote ID, so I think it's actually already built into some of these drones. I think that, like, up to the Mavic Air, I could be wrong, but like if you got a Phantom 3, definitely not on there. Spark might be right on the cusp, and I think some of the newer like Phantoms, like the Phantom 4 Pro and the Phantom 4 Advanced, probably have it. Not so sure about the Phantom 4 Standard.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to say, but I mean regardless, they need to make sure that that's in place. I mean, just for the simple fact of future-proof, and unless they're going to grandfather those drones in.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how you really. I mean, here's the thing. We're gonna always have that issue unless if DJI basically says, hey, we're gonna end of life, you know, the Phantom 3 standard or whatever. The next time it connects, we're basically gonna kill it. Like sort of like what they had to do with the GoPro Karma that time when they were falling out of the sky. They were like, hey, if you don't update it, your drone's gonna be bricked. Yeah. You know. So
just like the Samsungs, right? They bricked the Samsung Note 8 or whatever, Note 7, whatever was exploding.
They legitimately killed those phones, so they were just inoperable. So I mean, the same thing could happen.
So now here's the thing, right? That kind of brings up a whole. I was thinking that me talking about the airport drone sightings would kind of segue into the remote ID. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think that having that remote ID is a bad thing at all.
No, I mean, I would even like to see it where it was easier to get authorizations from airports. Well, you know what? And if they're going to make all of us have to have remote IDs, then I expect every single airport to be able to accept digital authorization.
Yeah, exactly. And it only makes sense. Like, why wouldn't they? And
I mean, because they don't right now. Like my airport by me, I have to submit manual waivers, and it's a pain in the butt because you can't call the tower.
It's a smaller airport, right?
Yeah, it's a Class D airspace. It does have a tower, but obviously with the 107, you're not supposed to call the tower. You got to run your authorizations like you normally would.
Yeah, it also depends on what you're doing, right? If you're just flying for fun, you can just give them a call.
Right, and most of the time, if I'm by the airport, I'm probably doing a house or something, so I have to submit that waiver like 3 or 4 days, usually 3 days in advance, and I'm good.
Look, I think that the end-all be-all solution would be through these apps, whether it be the Autel Explorer app, whether it be the DJI Go app, whether it be Unique's app, that you just do it right through the app. I mean, even if they just had air map integration, right? If DJI said, what if it could even be one of these companies picking up at one of these I guess what, like Kitty Hawk or picking up Air Map,
Sure.
and just integrating them as their map rather than use Google Maps. I mean, it just makes sense.
Brian says Class D isn't small. Class D is, you know, pretty darn small in comparison to the C or the Bs. At least my airspace is pretty small. That's a small airport.
I think that the remote ID is a good thing, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Jin is asking, can you elaborate on COAs? It's funny because we were talking about what COAs were, me and Jin, and we have no idea. At least I have no idea what they are. What is it? A certificate of what? Airspace? Certificate of something. I gotta make Jin a moderator.
I've never, like, I can go in Drone Zone and I can just pull them up, but I never print them. Like, I don't bring them with me. Like, I've never been stopped by anybody and say, hey, are you authorized to fly here?
Well, the thing is that Jin and I were actually going to do a job together filming at Princeton University, and they want like a certificate of authorization, basically. I think that's what it stands for, certificate of authorization.
You can print it. If you go to dronezone.com, they will give you like an authorization,
and then you could
through the airspace.
I mean, they could even just have the email too.
Yeah, I'm sure that would suffice. I only do it like because if I'm doing a video of a house and let's just say somebody wants to be like a jerk and be like, oh, they're flying, there's an airport there, and they want to report that realtor, there I am doing that again, realtor, then at least I was covered. Like, so I'm the one that's going to ultimately be on the line for that, not them.
But
and I'm good.
If they hire you and you don't have a 107, then they could be on the line.
That's a whole nother story.
Yep.
So and that's, you know, that's part of the advertising. You know, if you want to advertise, you want to say you were 107, you know, that's one of the perks. You can get away with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think, look, man, these airport sightings, these drone airport sightings are happening a lot more frequently than I'd like them to. And I don't know, man, it sucks.
I went to go right click on Brian's thing. I was going to actually put him in timeout.
I forgot that you could do that. Wrenches are $50 each. I'll have to go through and wrench some people. I pretty much just have me and Ken as a wrench right now, I think. But yeah, we'll end up doing that.
Yeah, we'll have to go through and Elliot's throwing out wrenches. It's better than throwing out bows.
Okay, so our third topic was UPS drone airline, right? And we've got a like an Engadget article here.
I see that,
right? And so I just wanted to bring this up as like a specific example because I want to talk about drone delivery. What do you think of drone delivery as a general, or in general, right? Because I've seen a few channels out there who are like, this is not your airspace, you should not be delivering, get out, blah 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 blah. And you know who I'm talking about.
If you say his name 3 times, it's like saying Bloody Mary or something. I've heard. I don't want to do it. But anyways, no. Honestly, hey, if I had an Amazon warehouse close by and they were like, hey, we can get that order to you, and obviously it's not like something massive, like I'm not ordering a computer monitor, and we can get you that order within 3 hours. Like, I don't know what their turnaround time from picking to shipping would be. I think that would be pretty cool.
I'm sure they could get it under 3 hours if they really fine-tuned the system. I've seen some of their patents that they have, and essentially like these drone, what are they called? These drone facilities are like beehives. They're tall, kind of look like a smokestack.
Sure.
And the drones fly out from the sides, and then they fly back in. They load up.
So basically, what you're telling me is
Skynet.
they got their design from Wreck-It Ralph.
Maybe. Well, I mean,
I like that design.
It's been in the works for a while, and you know what, there's a lot of people saying that if these companies come out and start doing drone deliveries, that it's going to kill our hobby. But I don't think so. I don't think that there'll be any issue at all.
I don't think there'd be an issue. I think obviously shared airspace and if you're flying around like a residential area where these things are traveling, the scenery isn't probably so epic anyways. Like that's sort of like the thing, like when I see people like, oh, I've got an NFC by me. Okay, get in your car and drive somewhere amazing.
Yeah, right.
You have this drone that can take photos of like things that you normally couldn't see. Find a site, take photos of it, get in your car, drive a little bit. I don't know. That's my thought on that.
Yeah, but so like what? We've got to stay under 400 feet, and I've never really found the reason to fly over 400 feet unless I'm flying around the city with tall skyscrapers. But
when I was by the mountains, that was the only time I ever wanted to exceed 400
exactly.
feet.
And
you can do that.
Look, here's the thing: is that if we've got these drones making deliveries, and if they stay between like 500 and 600 feet, right? Like let's say they give them special authorization, and then us hobbyists and us pilots with our 107 have to stay under 400 feet. I mean, that's a good amount of buffer.
Yeah, because what's the height that choppers are supposed to be at? 500?
I've got no idea.
I know it's supposed to be above 400, below. I mean, because those are like sort of air taxis. So you got that to worry about. I mean, there's a lot of things. Here's the thing. I don't think we got to worry about drones delivering for a while, just because there's a lot of hurdles to jump. And the other thing is, it's like you said, the FAA is still stuck in like a rut, and they're still archaic. But yet you have this technology that is moving so fast. But yet the people who govern the rules in which we're supposed to abide can't keep up with technology. It's sort of ironic.
I mean, dude, the tech is there in order to make this happen. It's all just it's legislation. It's getting approval from the FAA. It just won't happen. And I've seen so this particular article here, if you guys want to look it up, it is from Engadget. UPS launches a drone airline to deliver medical examples. It seems like they're just going from facility to facility, right? And this would make sense. This is where I think that drone delivery is going to start. So let's say here in Philadelphia, you've got Penn University, right? And they have multiple hospitals, and they're granted to deliver samples of blood or different things from building to building with drones. I think that that's how it's going to start, because that's one corporation doing something within their own, I guess, bounds, whatever you want to call it. And then you're going to have these companies like Amazon and UPS going to people's houses. So I mean, another way to look at this, right, is UPS, and I think it was UPS that I saw had a concept where they've got a drone on the truck, and the guy could be making a delivery at one house while the drone flies over to another house and makes another delivery. So I think that might be a little bit more plausible than having a huge distribution center,
site to site, or like, you know, right, or for like, you know, medical reasons, like, you know, you think about, you know, I don't know if I would want to put like a transplant or an organ, you know, to get it from one hospital to the next, but speed, you know, and that's also depends how fast they're going to go.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
in this time, right? Let's say you can either put it in the drone and it gets there in 10 minutes, or you put it in the car, it sits in traffic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it gets there in 40 minutes. And that could be somebody's life right there. They need it within those 10 minutes. So in a way, it could be helpful. In this article here, it uses a drone I've never seen before, but it's obviously been made specifically for carrying things. It's called an M2 quadcopter, and it can carry 5 pounds up to distances as long as 12.5 miles, which is good, right?
It's pretty impressive.
It is very impressive. And you know why I wanted to talk about drone deliveries, because do you remember I got that little thing for the Mavic? It's this thing.
Yeah, but that was horrendous, man. That was horrendous.
It's this thing that you can attach underneath of the Mavic. You put things in it, and then you deliver stuff with the Mavic. But as soon as I put even just the contraption to hold what was going underneath of my drone, it begun to shake in midair. Honestly, really scary. So I ditched that. I actually wasn't even going to make a video on it, just because it was honestly pretty bad. But hopefully they come out with another iteration. Okay, I say that loosely. Hopefully they come out with another iteration that works better, because delivering things with the Mavic is not plausible. You need a drone that can actually deliver stuff.
No, it seems like the Mavic sort of, I mean, it's a fantastic drone. It's got a lot of thrust, but it doesn't have enough oomph to actually physically carry something. Like, you put a water bottle in, I think he said, and it was struggling with the water bottle.
Dude, it was struggling with just with the water bottle. I would go to take off, and it would begin to tip either forwards or backwards. And then I was like, let me just take everything out of here. And I took off, and it was shaking there in midair with just a thing underneath of it. So moral of the story, if they're going to be doing these drone deliveries, they need to have drones that are actually equipped and built specifically for carrying things, and not just for carrying a little camera.
Right.
Gerg says that helicopters have 500 feet plus.
I don't buy that, simply because look at you went on that helicopter ride. right?
Yeah.
And he was buzzing the shoreline.
We were
and that
pretty
was
damn low.
Yeah. And I think about the other helicopter that was riding down Clearwater Beach, or the one in Miami where that guy almost crashed into a drone. So if they had to stay over 500 feet, then we shouldn't be ever in in jeopardy of coming close. And actually, let me take that back. I had choppers flying today that were probably about 300 feet high.
Wow.
Again, and those were medical choppers going from one hospital to the next. So yeah, I agree. I don't really think they're bound by anything. They sort of hit different rules. They are air taxis basically.
Yeah.
At that point. So it's not about researching our material. It's just that they aren't really subject to the same rules as airplanes. But I appreciate.
And Eli says here that the drones would have to be well above 400 feet because a good-sized drone carrying something pretty loud or carrying something pretty heavy would be pretty loud, which does make sense, right? If you fly the Mavic, you know that thing is quiet, and if you have it up 100 feet, you're probably not going to be able to hear it unless you're ripping in sport mode. But with something like the Phantom, which is a decent-sized drone, and even the Inspire, when you're up at 400 feet, you can easily hear it. It is loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, your Inspire's loud. Can be loud, obviously, if it's under a load. But I mean, it's sort of one of those things that we sort of have to draw the line. I mean, so cars are sort of loud too, when they're going down the road. So it's only going to be over a home or something for a moment. There may be some benefit to knowing, where they are. But yeah, I think 400 feet or right at that delta would be smart.
I can just already picture looking up in the sky and seeing hundreds of these things going around.
I don't know, man. Again, I think we're so far away. I just try to. So like my mentality has always been like focus on the short track, the things that like I can actually control. Okay, like we're not going to argue about like whether or not helicopters are subject to.
Yeah.
I really, honestly, I'm just going to be pretty blunt because we're not monetized. I don't give a shit right now. So like I don't like it's like. I'm sorry. My gloves came off like a long time ago with everything. I'm tired of being PC with certain things just in the drone industry in general, because it seems like it just like it doesn't respond well to people. I love everybody who views and watches our shows and everything, but like yeah, you can yell at me later. I don't give a shit.
I'm gonna give you a slap on the wrist.
So yeah, so it was funny.
You cut out for me, bro.
I said I was reading your notes on the airport sightings.
Yeah. Wait,
I was
what?
like,
Wait, what did you say? I
said I was reading your notes on the airport sightings.
Oh, yeah.
And I just stumbled across number A. It was pretty funny.
I mean, look, man, these airport sightings are pissing me off because, again, it's just going to come back to bite us in the butt.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's, it's one of those things like no amount of, I don't know, campaigning is going to prevent, whatever the FAA's got going on, or whether or not these are actually legitimate things that are happening, or whether or not they're going to actually launch, drones as deliveries. I don't know. It's just, for me, it always seems like cash grabs. Like they're just trying to say, okay, well, hey, you're going to be a hobbyist, you want to fly. Like I feel like they're always putting like sort of some sort of paywall between things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree. Yo, if you guys are in here, if you could slap this stream with a like, that'd be huge.
Yo, for real. And you guys may have noticed we took down the other streams.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like I like to leave the streams, but maybe we only leave them up for a week before we like pull them down. I don't know, just to keep everything clean.
Yeah, maybe unlisted or something. I don't know, but like unlisted so you can find them in like a playlist or something. But so the reason we pulled those other streams is because the branding, first of all, Up in the Air Live, right? We're changing it to pretty much everything Overcast. But also, man, just we had so much trouble with OBS. You know what? Let's I think we've pretty much gone over everything that we wanted to go over. Again, we covered DJI versus Autel. We covered.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that, man.
What did Nick say?
No, man. He smacked the like button.
He's the man.
I appreciate it. Nick is the man, dude.
So look, we covered pretty much everything we want to talk about today. Maybe got off topic a little bit, but what I'd like to do.
But that's okay. That's the live though.
Yeah, exactly. What I want to do at the end of each stream is do a little Q&A. So you guys. Yeah, you guys can go through and you just ask anything, whatever you want, whether it's about drones, whether it's about tech, whether it's about whatever. You know, I know that there's always a lot of questions that come through the chat and on videos and stuff. Sometimes we don't have all that much time to answer, and it's cool because we can sit down and we can just you know, chat it up. So Ken has got that new Yeti Nano. How do you like it?
I'm digging it, man. I think it was better than the Razor. I like that it has the, I don't know if I clicked it or not, but it's got the omnidirectional.
Yes, yeah.
So I think that's like really key when you're podcasting or you're doing voiceovers. I think the sound is a bit cleaner, like a little bit more full.
Ethan says, do you guys really think that drone companies are holding off until remote ID is a thing? I don't know. I don't think so. Personally, like, I don't know of any drone that's going to be coming out, right? Like I don't know of any company that's going to be coming out with a new drone anytime soon.
I mean, so another thing we got to keep in mind is we haven't seen anything, but NAB is right around the corner. It's here in April, I think April 1st or 2nd. I don't know. As I'm leaving Vegas, NAB is happening.
Oh, that's clutch. That's clutch because you would be stuck.
I would be stuck. So, you know, NAB is a big camera convention, and obviously with consumer drones, you know, cameras are a big thing. So, you know, we could see something launch at NAB, actually. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be interesting. Very interesting.
I don't think, you know, DJI would necessarily launch something, but maybe a competitor would.
Yeah, it's always with DJI. It's always like if they come out with something at one of these shows, it's like a soft release beforehand, you know? Like they're like, oh, check out our new smart controller, and then boom, it's on display at that event later, you know, that day or later that week.
Yeah. I mean, they may do that, and they may like have like a soft launch, but what's up?
Ethan said DJI is a little late for a release, or at least a leaked image. Actually, all right, look, this doesn't pertain to drones, but there's been some leaked images of like a camera thing where you can put the gimbals from the Inspire onto this like box looking thing. You seen that?
Right. Yeah, I saw that. It's sort of goofy looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I don't think it's going to be something, but they leaked something. It's not about drones, though. Braden says, what are y'all's predictions for DJI? Dude, all right.
I like how you said that.
That's what he said. He said y'all's.
Y'all's.
So,
I like it.
I think that a Phantom is definitely in the pipeline. And look, they just came through. They just updated the Mavic. I think that they just came out the Matrice version 2.0 that adds OcuSync, and I think that what's next is they're going to come through and they're going to come out the Inspire 2 version 2.0 if they want to keep the same design but just change that transmission system out for OcuSync, which is a big upgrade in my opinion. They could also add some anti-collision lights to it potentially. That's what we saw with the Matrice. But I think we're due for a new Phantom. And I don't know if they're going to update the Mavic Air or the Spark, because those are some good entry-level drones. And if they give like the Mavic Air, 4K at 60 frames per second, and they don't give the Mavic 2 Pro 60 FPS, it's going to be a controversy.
Yeah, people, well, you know, and those are the controversies that guys like, me, love, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, give it 4K 60. I just don't see them do that. They'll string it on. Yeah, I don't think so. John Callis asked, either of you had the Samsung Note 9, was wondering how the screen was compared to the Crystal Sky. I actually had the Note 9, and the Note 9 screen was incredibly bright.
Yeah, I know.
It was incredibly bright. It was insanely bright. Yeah, it was brighter than the Crystal Sky.
If he's still in here, I know that Elliot has the, what's it called? Either the Galaxy 9 or the Note 9. He's got one of those Samsungs. It has 1,000 nits of brightness. Yeah. And Cole says, y'all. Do y'all think we will get a Mavic 2 firmware? Ken just said that. I don't think so. I thought that in the beginning. I was like, oh, they're going to hold out for 4K 60 and they're going to update it at a certain time. But if we haven't gotten it by now, I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough to say. Like, I hate predicting like what DJI is going to do, because one, it's like one of those things. Like, somebody asked me like, well, what drone should I get? Somebody emailed me today and they're like, well, what drone should I get? I'm like, well, what drones are available? You know, the Mavic lineup is really solid. The Evo is, you know, a great choice. I mean, if you wait for something, you know, you're always going to be waiting. Like, there's always going to be that next best thing that's going to come out. And it's like, it's the same old, same old. I mean, yes, new products are awesome, but I always say just get something and start making things amazing now.
Yeah, man, even if you can go and get something a little bit less expensive like the Spark and you just want to try it out, I mean, you could get that Spark and then you could buy it used and then flip it for probably like the same price just to get your foot in the
Yeah,
door, and then use that money
exactly.
you sell it back for to go out and buy something bigger. What did you start out with? What was your first drone?
My first drone was a Parrot Bebop,
And that's a
the
perfect
OG.
starter. That's a perfect
Oh
starter.
yeah, dude. I beat the hell out of that thing. I remember the first day I got it stuck in a tree.
See, I started with a Phantom 4, and my first flight was 50 feet up, 50 feet back down, and I walked back inside. So, see, I kind of went with an approach of like, look, I want the Phantom, and I'm going to end up buying it, so why waste money on this when I could just get what I want? And then,
Honestly, I didn't know enough about them.
oh
I didn't
yeah,
know
I
if I was
know.
gonna I didn't know if I was coming I was transitioning over from like tech, like phones and stuff, and I was like, let me try this out and see how I like it. And then I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. Bought a unique Breeze after that, and and then it
Preston,
was just kept
Preston
going.
asks, do you have any discount codes for the DJI Spark? I don't think Ken does. I don't think really anybody probably has any
I'm
discount
gonna tell
codes.
you that they are really hard to get discounts for DJI products. I
But
mean, you
dude,
may
all
be
right.
able to find them cheap.
I'll do a little research here, and you can do some research on your own too, in extent to what I'm doing. But if you look around on any website, I'm just on Amazon right now checking out what a DJI Spark is going to be. All right, so DJI Spark is actually pretty much the same amount on Amazon. But if you go on eBay, if you go on Craigslist, and you don't mind getting it used, you can save a really good amount of money on a Spark.
Yeah, and they're pretty durable. I mean, you don't really have to worry about any issues with that.
Lloyd Mendenhall is waiting for the Flux or for the Mavic 3 Plus with the new Flux capacitor.
We're gonna be waiting a while. We're gonna be waiting a while. Maybe summertime we would see a new Mavic. Summer, like just around August.
Like what
I
though?
mean, that's about a year.
Like
I
what
don't know.
though?
Maybe a new Mavic. Who knows,
Hold on.
man?
Let me propose something here. What if they introduced a brand new drone, right, that replaces the Phantom? Something that slots in between the Mavic Air or in between the Mavic Pro and the Inspire, that is maybe a mixture of both, and they call it something different.
I would be okay with that.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
I think we're all hell bent on the fact that there has to be a sequel to the Phantom 4. This is not like the Rocky trilogy. We just need to end that. We just
Yeah.
make something brand new.
Exactly. And look, I sit here and I think about some of the first videos that I've made on my channel. And one of my first videos was a Phantom 5 wish list. And here we are still talking about the Phantom 5.
Dude, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, over 2 years ago. That was when I didn't even show my face in videos, and I just showed like video from the drone as I was commentating it.
I remember those days. Those were good days. I used to make those videos front camera.
Yeah, well,
Good
look,
days.
I
Good
mean,
days.
I didn't even have a camera
No,
at the
I would be
time.
cool. I think I would be that awesome. Oh, you
Lon,
didn't have a camera at the time? You were doing better than I was.
Lon has a
I was rocking it.
Lon has a good
Was
idea,
Lon?
and check out Best Buy for a discount. They could have some sort of discount on a Spark.
Yeah, they could. They could.
I don't know if they do.
Or Target.
Target, yeah. I don't think
I've
Target
I've
sells
seen.
drones anymore. I think that they were
No, they do.
They
I've seen
do?
them in I've seen them in my store.
Your
I mean, they
store,
only have like two or three.
You
but
own
I
that
mean,
store?
no, it's just I'm saying it's my store. It's my local store. Why are you such a jerk, dude?
I'm looking on Best Buy right now. Best Buy,
All right.
Best Buy. It still says $399.99. Something that I did though, when I had to buy a new camera, I was a little bit tight, and I did their credit card option, and if I'm financing it over 12 months, which I mean, it says right now you can finance the Spark for $33 a month if you wanted to. Here's the
What
thing.
did you finance? What did you finance?
My Sony A7 III. I was not prepared to buy another camera, and I was just rocking with my Panasonic G7, and
Okay,
all of a
so-
sudden it just breaks.
Bro, the fact that you knew, known for like months that camera was on its last leg. Like
I
that flippy
didn't.
screen was like on by
Oh.
a thread.
I know, but still, at the end of the day, whatever. And also, it was like, if I could have gone and bought another Panasonic G7, but then I'm like, then I'm just replacing my camera with even more problems. But
True, that is true.
Here's the one thing: is the thing that DJI has going on is if you buy it through them, you get the remote for free. So you get
That's a good deal.
You get the Spark and the remote.
I mean, that's a hell of a deal, actually, right there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Like I forgot that. Yeah, I mean, that makes it, but that's how they get you with their deals, because what they'll do is they'll bundle things, or they'll be like, oh, you get an extra battery, or you get, this, so they don't have to give you a deal. They just give you more of what, they already have essentially, which, I mean,
Cole
that makes sense.
Cole brings up a good point. Just wish the aperture wouldn't click on the Mavic 2. I believe even the Inspire 2 does. It does. So the X4S, it does. I don't know about the X5S or the X7. I'm not sure if the aperture would click down. I assume that it does, and it sucks. Like, how nice would that be to have a nice smooth scrolling aperture?
I mean,
that was such a delayed response.
Because you lagged for a second, dude. I was like,
it's like, have you seen those weather reports where they're like, and now back to you, John, and then they sit there for like a second?
Dude, the best was, did you see the one where the dude, he's like, he didn't know he was live yet, and he's spitting in his hands, fixing his hair?
Oh, that's so gross.
Oh, dude, I was dying. I was watching that, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. He's not, and I'm like, as soon as I heard him like spit, I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. So Gerg says, my uncrashed Mavic 2 additional batteries I'd sell, or Mavic with 2 additional batteries I'd sell for $700.
Let's see. Who is it that asked that? It is Ethan asked, how often do I fly my Inspire? I fly it. Whenever I'm flying the Inspire pretty much. I have come to a point where dude, all right, so I went to Newport. I told you I was going to Newport. I was so hyped to make a vlog. And I didn't even fly my drone because I was flying the Mavic and I wanted to get these shots coming up along the rocks. But flying fast in sport mode with the Mavic 2, the camera shoots downwards. You can't look up. So you know how
that is a bummer, man. I know how you like to do those pull-in shots like that.
And so when I'm flying fast with the camera pitched upwards, kind of, up along the rocks, and I wanted to get these cool shots, and I couldn't. And man, I wish I brought the Inspire. It sucks. You know what? My next thing is getting a backpack for it because who is it? Low Pro makes an Inspire 2 backpack, so I got to check that out. I think that's gonna be.
I'm wondering how much that gimbal pitches on this thing.
On what?
On that X Dynamics.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm curious to see, like
the thing
how
is,
it pitches.
With the Phantom, also, if you're flying in sport mode, you're gonna get the props in the shot.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get the props. This is a little weird, so it may not get the props in the shot.
With the nice thing, go ahead.
Not sure. No, go ahead. You go ahead.
The nice thing with the Inspire 2 is the props. I mean, they never get in the shot. The camera's so low that even if you're looking like upwards with the gimbal you're flying forwards.
I literally got a comment on my video today from somebody on my Mavic 2 Zoom video. He said, how do I stop getting my left prop in the shot? And my response was, I was just like, fly with 3 props. It's like, I've never had any props in my shot unless I had that gimbal pitched into the right or like to the left, panning. That was the only time. How long is this show going for?
Yo, Ethan said, you know what? That's why I love the Anafi, because it can look upwards, but I never even tried it. Honestly, so I had, when I got invited to the event, I asked them if they could send me one, and they said, yeah. And then like a couple months went by and I said, hey, do you guys still want to send one out for review? And they didn't. And so I never really got around to check it out. I should have just bought it. But what really kept me from buying it is Ken goes, oh, I'm going to head down to Best Buy and pick up an Anafi. I was like, all right, cool. And 2 hours later, I get a call. This thing sucks. I hate it. I'm returning it. I don't like it.
But I am really critical on every single prod. I am very critical. So, but I'm rightfully so. You're spending a lot of money. Would you rather me spend the money or you spend the money? And my first words out of my mouth was, it's sort of light. Like I'm comparing it to DJI or Autel. It's very light. It just felt more like a toy. And the wireless at the time, the wireless connectivity was so spotty, and it was all over the place.
I really want to get an Anafi now.
This is why I'm glad I'm married, because if I had to date people now, I probably wouldn't give them a chance. I'd just return them.
All right, I think that's a good way to end it here. We're coming up on an hour. I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream. I think that this went a lot better than our previous streams. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm.
I think we spent some good time dialing in all the settings. Yes, we dialed them all in.
Gerg said, you can set your Mavic to shoot up, Billy, and that's true. You can have the gimbal pitch upwards, but if you fly really fast in sport mode, it pitches so far forwards that the front of the drone covering the camera will get in the way, and the camera shoots downwards. So even if you tried flying in sport mode to pitch the gimbal upwards, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I wish. I could
do an example if you need me to. I got the Mavic sitting right next to me.
You're going to do an example?
I'll do an example.
Let's see.
What's in my bag 2019? A Mavic Pro. A Mavic 2 Pro. So look, all right, this is what I'm talking about, right? I'm doing this one just for Gerg here. You've got the drone sitting here. Let me make sure I'm in frame. You've got the drone sitting here, and you've got the camera.
It's going to be pitched.
If you're hovering, it's going to sit like this.
Yeah.
But once you start flying, and it pitches upwards and upwards and upwards, now look, you're blocked. You're blocked.
That's the bummer right there.
It's blocked. See?
Now, what if you fly backwards? How much does it pitch backwards?
It won't. It doesn't matter. It will never get in the way. I mean, look, this camera can go all the way. So if I'm flying like this, then the camera's still. So look, I
mean, we're just limited to, we're limited to what we can, what you can do. Obviously, it's not going to be anywhere near Inspire territory, which there was a shot we did in that vlog where it was amazing. It was a full, 180-degree rotation just about from the ass end of the Inspire right to the front. And it just gave it this really trippy, sort of Michael Bay effect. I loved it.
And you know what I think is something fun that we could do is if I get a second remote for the Inspire, we both get on there and we both fly it.
So Gerg says nobody flies in sport mode for legit shots.
Oh, Gerg.
He has never watched one of your videos on it.
I pretty much only fly in sport mode.
Yeah, you're balls to the wall nonstop.
I mean, the thing with sport mode is you get really cool shots. And you know what's funny is I fly in sport mode and then like in post, I'll speed it up a little bit too, just to make it seem like I'm going even faster.
And you just gave it away. But you know what's cool about sport mode is the surrounding things around you, like the vehicles and the people, they're not sped up. So,
exactly.
That's always hard. That's always hard to do.
I love chasing that train going across the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philly, right? Like that is the most fun thing to do. And with the Mavic, you can keep up with it as it's coming, but it'll start to beat you, and you won't be able to keep up with it. With the Inspire, you don't have to go full throttle. You can stay almost right in line with it.
Brian, make sure you wipe.
later, Brian. You know what's and cool. Ethan just said, in my bag is the Anafi and the Mavic 2 Pro. In the video I made today, I've been carrying around the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic Air with me because, as Ken knows, I like to be a little bit risky and fly the Mavic Air through some tight spots. I'm
thinking about just picking up a Mavic Air just for that, just so I can just squeeze it into areas that are close.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, the Anafi is so small, it could probably fit an Anafi in there too, along with the Mavic 2 Pro. You think I could?
What's that?
I think that I might be able to also fit an Anafi in my bag. So it's Anafi, Mavic 2 Pro, and the Mavic Air. I think I just totally you just went up and in the corner of the screen again. It's so weird. So look, hold on, watch. If you've got the stream up in a window, watch it real quick.
I do.
Because it'll play back. You like incrementally go smaller and then you like come back. Everybody already saw it.
I don't understand why that keeps happening though. It makes no sense. Did you fix it?
It fixes itself.
It's so here's what's funny, like there I see it. So sometimes it'll buffer, like it'll buffer down, and then it'll catch back up. So but what's funny is every time I've ever watched the stream back, it's fine. So I don't know. I guess streaming is just tough, like especially using OBS. We definitely got to keep fine tuning it. We'll figure it out. Hardwiring is gonna help.
Lon says I bought prop guards for tight shots. Prop guards don't work when you're flying fast. Okay, guys. So that about wraps it up. We went for over an hour, but I think we had some great topics. I like doing that Q&A at the end, so it's something that we're going to definitely do in the future.
Let's go through. Just give a shout out to all the people here, top contributors. Thank you, Gerg C,
Yeah,
for all your input.
Blue Eye Visuals, as well as Eli and Ethan, all the questions.
Lon Denard, I'm glad you weren't talking to yourself today. I love Lon's input. Like every time we put a podcast out, I look forward to his comments now.
We put up a podcast, and within the first 10 minutes, we've got 12 comments. And we go, man, this one's popping off. It's just Lon.
It's Lon. We love it. We love it. It's always good. So thank you so much for Lon for all the wonderful interaction, man. Really appreciate it. Sky Story, he's gone. Brent, thank you so much. And Eli, both Eli's actually. There's always two in the chat. Preston, thanks for stopping in, man.
Before we ended, if you guys could slap a like, that would be much appreciated.
Yes.
But guys, again, as always, thanks for tuning in. We're gonna try to do this live stream here every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We started at 9 p.m., but going forward, we are going to try to make an effort to make it 8 p.m. every single night.
You don't like 9? I think 9's not that
9
bad.
could work. Whatever you want to do, we could do 9 also.
It all depends on what they want. I don't want to overlap other people's shows either. So
let's see.
I want to give everybody a good chance to watch whatever they want.
It's 9 o'clock, right? So East Coast, it's 9. Getting towards the Mid Coast, it would be like 8, and then 7, and then 6. So I mean, everybody should be home from work. Maybe people on the West Coast are just tuning in after they get home from work. So whatever works for you guys. If you want 9 o'clock, a little late night stream for the East Coast. If you guys want 8 o'clock, I mean, let us know what you think. Ken's typing away over there. But guys, anyway, we keep getting off track. Thank you for tuning in, and keep an eye out for the podcast coming out this Sunday. We've got a pretty good one. I think this is one of my favorite ones that we discussed. I'll give you guys an early tidbit. The topic is third-party drone accessories.
Ooh, that is a good topic. That is a fantastic topic, and that's actually the last episode before we have to film them live again.
Yep. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the upcoming podcast. And we will catch you later.
Later, guys.